This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/TYT and get a 2-week trial for free.
This is John McCain talking, Senator John McCain from Arizona, who almost was your president, sort of, not really. He is talking about President Obama, and this is clip number 8, JR.
You all, when I talked to you, called for that no-fly zone. And I think the question that's really out there now is it too late?
I hope it's not too late, and I believe it's not too late. Obviously, if we had taken this step a couple of weeks ago, a no-fly zone would probably have been enough. Now, a no-fly zone is not enough. There needs to be other efforts made. And I want to preclude ground troops, the U.S. or our allies' ground troops. That is not what we are talking about. But there's a whole lot of things that can be done. Also, we've got to get our assets over there. The aircraft carrier is a long ways away. Aircraft carrier should have been on station a long time ago. But I think the boost to the morale, I think that some of the enforcement that you're going to see from ourselves and our allies, including a couple of the Arab countries, I think 3 of them, that I think we can turn this tide. I think the next 5 or 6 days we'll know.
Yeah, Senator McCain, and this is another quote from that interview on CNN. He said he waited too long. There's no doubt in my mind about it, talking about President Obama. But now it is what it is, and we need now to support him in the efforts that our military are going to have to make. And I regret that that we didn't act much more quickly, and we could have. I mean, I love this hindsight. I love criticizing him for doing exactly what he would have done. To say, I mean, how could enforcing a no-fly zone have been enough 2 weeks ago when it wasn't enough 2 weeks later? The key is that Gaddafi for years, for 10, 20, 30 years, has been defiant of the United Nations, has been defiant of any other coalition against him. So to just say that 2 weeks made a difference and to criticize the president just because you have to sit on TV and criticize him, but then say, oh, we're going to support our troops, that is, it's unfair and it is terrible politics. And fortunately, those terrible politics are why John McCain is a senator sitting next to a lame duck like Joe Lieberman on television with Candy Crowley on Sunday morning instead of making these decisions. You can be sure that John McCain would have acted far less responsibly and perhaps without a coalition had he been president. And I'm, you can't be sure of that, but I can guess that. And you can glean it from what he said yesterday on CNN. He's saying it should have happened a couple of weeks ago. The kind of coalition, small or large, that he could have gotten together a couple of weeks ago would have been very different. The United Nations didn't act in that time. We are responding officially to a United Nations no-fly zone put in over the country of Libya. A ceasefire that was ignored. The ceasefire wasn't even in place 2 weeks ago, so we can't even have used that as an excuse, this ignoring of a ceasefire. So it's so convenient for people like John McCain to sit in an armchair on a Sunday morning and say these things. And he is not alone. Let me tell you a couple of the other GOP hopefuls, like Rick Santorum, and I say hopeful, I mean no hopeful. Under any score, this is Rick Santorum, the former crazy senator from Pennsylvania. Under any score, I don't know how you could play this worse than this president has. I think we are going to be involved potentially in a very prolonged standoff or UN peacekeeping, or who knows what we could be involved in the long term. The president put us in a very difficult situation. Without, of course, saying what he would have done, which is he probably would have gone in with John McCain a few weeks ago and put us in a similarly difficult situation. Let's skip now to another man running for president. This is former House Speaker Newt Gingrich. It is impossible to make sense of the standard for intervention in Libya except opportunism and news media publicity. The president trying to get news publicity. Yeah, you don't see a lot of the president on the news. It would be nice if they showed, I don't know, Barack Obama on television once in a while. That would be good. But, a good bombing like this gets him on television. It seems ridiculous to see that. And another thing is the president went about his business. This is not that he was trying to be a scene stealer here. He went to Brazil. He's working on Latin America. I don't think that this is the kind of thing where he just stopped because he was trying to wag the dog dog, as it were. Iran and North Korea, this is Gingrich continuing, are vastly bigger threats. Mugabe has killed more people, and that's the president of, or dictator in Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe, has killed more people. The Sudanese dictatorship has killed more people. There are a lot of bad dictators doing bad things. I think it is naive of Newt Gingrich, and I don't disagree with the fact that we are often very willy-nilly in the way that we deal with foreign dictators. The fact that we went into Iraq, Mr. Gingrich, instead of going into Zimbabwe, instead of going into Sudan. I mean, please don't try and pretend that you, Newt Gingrich, were for going into Sudan or Zimbabwe over Iraq. It's the same argument. It is a slippery slope down which you will certainly fall in your run for the presidency. You're a smart man, but you say foolish things all the time. And I think that is, that's the tenor of the opposition that the president is facing right now. And I think that what we're going to see is the president sort of rising above a lot of this, and then they're going to see some real minds come in, perhaps Richard Lugar, perhaps others on the Republican side, to have a real debate about where this goes in Libya. If it is just about containing the no-fly zone, not going in and getting or killing Gaddafi, I don't know that that's what they want to do. I'm sure they'd like to, but I think the removal of Gaddafi is what Obama wants. They would like to see him forced to step down. He doesn't seem like the kind of man who will, but that's just my guess. And I think as it goes forward, we're going to have regular people who are not running for president from a crazy party talk to the president about this and talk to us about this.
If you want to build a website or a blog, where do you go? You go to squarespace.com.
With Squarespace, you don't need any coding experience, and the best part is you can even edit your website on your iPhone.
They give you 24/7 support.
Go to squarespace.com/TYT and get a 2-week trial for free.